quick. Um, so the background is the Streamer Awards played this ad, and like it was one of their main sponsors. It was for Fansly, which is a OnlyFans type of app. Now I don't use it. I don't know how it works. I don't know how OnlyFans works. Even well, I kind of get it, but I've never used it. Never made an account. That kind of thing. So what this really boils down to is a morals question, because you'll hear everything thrown in here from like the gambling ban on Twitch, well, the stake ban, not even the gambling ban. But you hear about I'll let it play, but I think it really comes down to morals, right? Like, what do the people at the top of Twitch want Twitch to be? Do they want it to be adult-oriented website like it's pretty much always been? They want it to be gaming only, just chatting only. Do they want? Because they have removed, you can't post like OnlyFans links now, shit like that. So they throw a lot of like, I'll try to like point it out as I see them, but they throw a lot of hypocrisy here. I kind of watched this on a XQC stream yesterday. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
And that it was very weird when Aiden Ross pulled up Pornhub on stream in front of his audience, which consists of a lot of kids. And meanwhile, when Fansly was advertising the Streamer Awards, I just laughed at it. So that's where the hypocrisy allegations come from. That's the genesis of it.
So that's why she's calling him a hypocrite. It's because of the Aiden Ross shit.
But I also wanted to defend myself from hypocrisy allegations that I felt were weightless. And that's what that video I made was all about. Now, Scott Schaefer, as I mentioned, tackled it from more of like a analytical standpoint, breaking down the problem itself, and I still do believe that his intentions are coming from a place of actually caring about the situation. However, the same can't be said about the other content creators.
This is an interesting conversation.
The video I made covering this.
The thing is, if it's really just about comparing Moise's reaction to Aiden and his reaction to the Fansly thing, I don't know. Moistcritikal isn't some god, you know what I'm saying? He's just a YouTuber. He's just a streamer slash YouTuber. Like, you can't expect him to be coming after everything with all of his energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I ever heard him specifically say that the Fansly thing was good, or I don't know.
I was very charitable with her intentions behind the content. I thought maybe I was wrong and got the incorrect impression on what her content was focused on. I thought it was satirical and
this is just like manufactured outrage
purpose with subject matter. And I apologized for saying things that may have come across mean-spirited or made it sound like I was shitting on her when that really wasn't my intention. Especially considering we were both playing on the same team.
Okay, that's a little bit disingenuous. Like when you say something about someone's content, and I watched this on XQC stream yesterday. When you say something about someone's content, their audience, that kind of thing, it's a personal insult. Like whether or not you want to backpedal. I'm not like Moist. You guys saw my tier list yesterday. I put him pretty high up there. He's a good streamer, makes good content overall. I don't really watch him that much, but you can't just backpedal on your insults and say I didn't mean to insult you.
These things are bad. And for some reason, she's at my throat about it because of one difference in that I think showing Pornhub
I do agree
to the audience was worse.
That he didn't say one was good.
Promotion, which again, I have never once defended or said was a good thing.
That's fair.
But this slight difference in perspective on it has led to all of this hostility. And I tried to explain that in the last video because I thought maybe there was just a misunderstanding there. But she took the last video as more of a declaration of...
And my adrenaline's still running from the Osu session. Holy fuck.
I didn't think this needed explaining either. One of the core points that she as well as others are making is that this is actually a very insidious plot that I'm hiding on purpose because Ludwig is my friend and QT Cinderella is his girlfriend. QT Cinderella ran the Streamer Awards.
Don't forget, Ludwig actually had a couple events now where Fansly was like the main sponsor, like in the title.
He was responsible for the Fansly promotion. So
brought to you by Fansly.
You know, excusing everything she did because she's Ludwig's girlfriend. And I didn't think this needed explaining.
And this is 40 minutes.
I didn't think a lot of this needed explaining, but I'll do it anyway. I've now said in like 5 videos over the last 5 months, I don't see eye to eye with anyone all the time, even my best friends. So,
No
even
one
though
expects
I do
anyone
respect
to.
QT, and of course I respect Ludwig, I consider them friends, I didn't see eye to eye with QT on this. Thus, I wasn't going to pretend like I did and defend it. I don't do that for anyone, not even my best friends. This wasn't some kind of secret association that was kept under wraps. I'm very public about Ludwig and I being business partners with fucking Moist Esports, for example, and we do a lot together. But that doesn't mean that I'm just going to look the other way on things that I feel differently about. I don't do that for him either. It's not just QT.
I mean, that kind of does speak to how there could be a little bit of bias, especially if you're like co-owners of something with someone. But this isn't about Ludwig, you know? This is about, I guess, about Moist's reaction to the Fansly thing, and they're comparing it to his reaction to the Aiden Ross thing. So Aiden Ross like played, I don't know if he actually clicked on a video, but he definitely went to Pornhub. I think he did click on a video. Went to Pornhub on a kick stream, and you know, his audience is like actually pretty young, so I would say younger than XQC's audience. On average, they both have kids in there, but it was a little interesting.
I have actually talked about things I disagree with Ludwig on publicly.
Fansly is
this isn't
pretty much
like
OnlyFans,
some kind of
so.
big gotcha where it's like, it turns out
And
Charlie
OnlyFans
does
is
know
banned
QT,
from
this is
Twitch.
why I didn't say anything. That's just not the truth. And I did say it wasn't good. And now it's become clear after her most recent upload, as well as everything she's been posting on Twitter about me, that that little yucky spidey sense that was tingling in the back of my head telling me that she's probably just trolling to get a rise out of streamers to farm it for personal gain was unfortunately
Ding ding.
And I'll go ahead and take the bait one more time here. I'll play along and eat this entree of medium well internet beef that she's serving up. She's been egging me on Twitter today to debunk all
It's more like a
20
medium.
lies she's caught me on in her most recent video. So I'll accept the challenge. I'll take the cinnamon challenge here and go through MewKitty's most recent upload, Moist Hypocritical Can't Stop Lying.
If you're coming here to see me troll around, I can't anymore.
It's a good
Because
name.
Hypocritical lied so much about
Let's
me
start calling him
and
hypocritical.
my
Put her money where her mouth is.
that I was forced to re-edit my whole video and now debunk every single lie that was made.
Obviously, I immediately owe a huge apology to MewKitty and her whole community because my video was such a stinker that it's impeded her ability to make her regularly scheduled trolling. But I do want to come out right away and say that her calling me hypocritical, the play on words, hippa and then critical spelled like my name,
Yeah, that's
is
it.
actually such a banger because that is a meme that started on my stream like 6 years ago when I was still streaming on YouTube. I was playing Fortnite and I had bought the battle pass for the John Wick skin. And chat fucking erupted when they saw me playing with it because I had for a long time talked about what a big waste of money the battle pass is. You're a fucking troglodyte if you buy the battle pass. And then fucking John Wick skin
And then you
comes
got
out
money and
busts
you
down
said,
my
"Oh, I
soul
want to
and
get this
spent
cool
money on
shit."
it.
All
So
right, I
chat
get it.
called me hypocritical just like this. And it became a bit of a meme. So to see her unironically use it here is almost nostalgic to a certain extent, but she's clearly using it to be combative as opposed to like jovial and kidding around.
Everybody, including me, is tired of this subject. On him defending promotion of porn to kids.
We're not even 30 seconds
Okay.
into this video.
Okay, that's a bit of a stretch. I haven't actually heard him. Pretty sure he's actually said a few times, even in this video, he does not word it. That is a bit of a
When
stretch.
she's already told her first lie, which is ironic. It almost makes her seem like the hypocrite here. She says that I have defended the promotion of porn to kids. Do you have any evidence to back that up? Do you have a clip of me saying that what QT Cinderella did with promoting
Not being
fantasy
harsh on it
awards is good?
isn't
Defending
promoting
in any
it.
Because as far as I can
Or isn't
recall, I have only ever
condoning
said that
it.
it's not a good decision. And that as well as Pornhub that Aiden Ross brought up on stream are both bad. I've never once said that what she did was good or defended it, or defended her for the decision to do it. But she likes to tell her audience that I have, without ever showing any clips of me doing it, because it hasn't happened. That is a blatant, bold-faced lie.
First lie manipulates the narrative that he already said both are bad. But that clip happened after my video, when his own fans has pressed him for 1 week for saying nothing.
And on stream I talked about this last night. And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away. During that stream, and in the exact same video MuteKitty has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad.
He never say outright both are bad. All the streams is on my second channel. He defended himself and argued with his viewers for 10 minutes. And after a long battle, he said it's not a great decision, but never said both are bad.
This is a pretty interesting angle to try and play here, trying to catch me on not saying verbatim both are bad until the video went live. Even though I had explicitly said that it wasn't a good decision, which you outright acknowledge in this clip here in your video, and the point I was making in the last video is in that same piece of content you posted on your second channel proudly, I do say it is not a good decision. I don't understand why she's trying to make this argument here, acting like her whole audience has their brain off and can't understand what it means when I say something is not a good decision. That means it's not good, thus is bad. And since I'm talking about the QT Cinderella Fansly promotion moment, that is me saying it is bad. Same way I was saying the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment was bad. And I'd actually like to cannonball into the deep end of this pool a little bit and swim around a little more and explore it, because I didn't think this would be necessary. I thought we were all able to deduce human emotion, but it seems like a lot of her arguments are going to pretend like everyone is an actual bot and can't, like, think. So I'm just going to over-explain everything. She makes it seem like I never outright said anything or condemned the Fansly promotion during the Streamer Awards or called it weird or anything at all. I was just completely tight-lipped, radio silent, keeping a secret like I had Fairly Odd Parents and I didn't want to tell anyone. When that's just not the case. During the Fansly promotional moment, I laughed at it. Now, let me ask you, what would I be laughing at? If not the absurdity of a Fansly
I do remember
promotion
seeing that
being
clip
on Twitch.
I don't know if he laughed at
Scott
it. But
Schaefer seemed to understand what the joke I was laughing at
it was definitely like a
which was
surprise
the
chuckle.
wild
I remember
nature
correctly.
of a Fansly ad being played.
And when the ad for Fansly actually came
I don't know
up
who
during
this
the
is.
Streamer Awards, you can see he actually lets out a little laugh, and it seems like he's at least somewhat uncomfortable that this type of content was being promoted.
That's what it was.
during
It
the
seemed
Streamer
like more
Awards.
uncomfortable
Exclusive
chuckle.
behind-the-scenes
Let's see.
content and a free trial of some of our hottest creators.
Holy.
On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which is your
Did I just get a little tickle from under the desk or something? There is nothing to laugh about there except for the absurdity of the situation.
Dude,
didn't
even
think
I
that
was
needed
like, what the heck,
explanation, so didn't
when I
even
saw that
bother in the
live.
last one, but it's something she seems to harp on.
Just because
that
of
I
the
never made any
OnlyFans
indication that
ban
I
on Twitch, you
found
know?
it uncomfortable or
That's
weird.
really, I think that's what really this comes down to, right? Twitch is really picky and choosy with their rules and how they apply them and enforce them. I think it's very vague. And I think it's very, like, people have to trial and error, often resulting in suspensions and bans, to figure out what the rules are. And the thing is, it's like the real hypocrite here could be Twitch, you know? Like, if they have decided that OnlyFans poses like a moral issue or an ethics issue, an issue for sponsors, whatever it may be. And that's really what it comes down to, right? It's just money. We all know that. I think that it's odd to let Fansly run on the website and be promoted and not OnlyFans. That's really where I'm sitting on the fence. I don't like that at all. Now, Moist, you know, I think people put a lot of emphasis and weight to Moistcritikal. He's a big name. And he's been around for a long time. Usually talks about these kinds of touchy subjects, but I don't think you should really blame him for, like, not going super hard after a friend, you know? We don't know what he said offline. He might have not said anything to her, but I don't know.
And to go a step further,
Can't
in
expect
the
this guy to be
following stream or
perfect.
the stream after, in one of the days following the Streamer Awards, someone in chat had asked me if I thought it was weird that Fansly was advertised during it, and I point blank said yes. And this is actually faster than I called out Aiden Ross in the Pornhub moment. The clip that she plays, as well as the other people have played as well, is from a video I made called Aiden Ross Just Got Banned. Maybe you've heard of him over the last week or so because he also just freely streamed porn on Kick. The astute listeners will have heard something
Yeah,
very
that's
crucial there.
it's a little bit different.
Over the last week, you may have heard of this.
In my opinion.
It had been about
Not
a
that
week
much, but
since the
still,
Aiden Ross Pornhub
there's a
Armageddon
fine
moment,
line.
and I had only mentioned it for around 50 seconds of this 11-minute video, which was focused on something else entirely. I just mentioned it because I was talking about a lot of the goofy things he had done recently. So I was just talking about it briefly, and it had taken me a week to even mention it. So I was actually faster to call the QT Fansly promotion weird than I was to call the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation weird. I didn't just ignore it. That is just a blatant lie. However, I don't want to be guilty of the same sin MewKitty's already committed of making a claim without any evidence to back it up, where she said at the beginning of this video that I defended the promotion of porn to minors, which is a sickening thing to even say. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because I cannot provide the
that's
clip
definitely
of
a
where I
stretch.
replied
That's
to
too
chat
far.
about the Fansly promotion being weird, because I don't fucking feel like combing through 14 hours worth of streams the day and the day after the Streamer Awards went live. I really don't feel like going through it, so since I'm not providing the video evidence for it, I'm not going to use this as a point in my defense. So going forward,
Okay.
we're going to work under the assumption that I never said anything publicly about it on stream, and the only indication I made to condemning it or that I thought it was bad was when I
think
laughed
Moist
at
has-
it during the moment.
which is weeks after the call out.
I will say in other videos he's made, he's worked hard for evidence when he's needed to.
Pretty clear
So
from reading her comments, not like
I like
her
Moist, don't
personal
get me wrong.
comments, but like the audience comments.
if
that
he
the
wanted to
majority
put
of
that
people
in
didn't
here,
even
he has
watch the
editors
full
and he has
stream.
people that could
There
help
must be
him.
a ghost in the
He has a
machine with
chat.
this lie counter on screen because it's
It wouldn't be
going
that hard to
wacko
find the
mode.
clip.
I don't know what's being counted as lies here because her points.
She's
haven't changed,
stretching
yet the
too far.
counter's
Let's
going
be
up.
honest.
I'm guessing it's
Kitty.
because she's trying to say that the timeline condemns me. It had been about a week before I responded to her video, so my speed to the response was suboptimal. I didn't, get there like the fucking Power Rangers in time to talk about it. The explanation there should be pretty obvious to any sentient human being out there. I didn't see it until a couple days before I talked about it on stream. I had meant to talk about it the next day, but I forgot. I don't remember why, and I apologize. Maybe I should have talked about it the very second that I'd finished watching it, but I forgot. And then the following
See, people
day or
are
whatever,
expecting a
when,
lot out of
MewKitty's
Moistcritikal. He's
community
just a
kept
guy.
spamming it,
you know?
I did get a little upset because I just don't like spam, and I was already talking about other things. So yes, I did get a little upset about the spam, and I do apologize for that. That's just something that always grinds my fucking ass. I don't like spam, but I'm being completely.
You're on the
genuine. I
internet and
actually
you don't like
understand what
spam.
The point she's making here
Oh,
is
boy.
that I was slow to respond to it. Thus, I'm.
You're in
guilty.
for a rough time, my guy.
I don't really think that's a very strong point.
The next lie is also very important, and it's done many times, where he words, I didn't do the exact same statement, when he didn't do any statement at all.
Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the porn thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. What?
Why did she edit it like that?
Don't
He's not going to
actually
copy
really
strike you.
get what you're saying with this one?
She's thinking he's
Is
going
it
to copy
issue
strike her.
with the way I laid out the situation? In the clip you played, I'm just laying out the situation where people were upset that I had made a statement about Aiden Ross and streaming Pornhub to be weird, and then didn't turn around and make the exact same statement for QT Cinderella and the Fansly promotion. Was the issue me saying exact same? The word exact? Was that the problem? The pressure point? Because if so, I guess we can dive into that a bit. Maybe we need to start with a definition of hypocrisy, I suppose. So again, this whole video I made was me. They're talking about me not making like a whole video talking about the QT Fansly promotion, I believe. So that's what that was my definition.
Okay,
of
that's
exact.
fair. She's allowed to make that
And I'll
observation
clear up
that you.
confusion. I didn't make a
She's
whole
allowed to make the observation that Moistcritikal went harder on Aiden Ross than QT Cinderella. What she's saying that he's defending, or that he's saying it's okay to promote Fansly and promote porn basically to minors. No one's saying that. To even imply that he's doing that is just disingenuous. Instantly loses you the argument and makes you look stupid. I don't know. You can't expect the world out of someone. And let's be fair, he's business partners with Ludwig, who is married or dating QT Cinderella. Like, there's gonna be some bias, sure. That's
video about the Aiden Ross
that's just
Pornhub thing
natural.
either. That was 50 seconds.
I mean,
of
is
an
it right to
11-minute
be
video that
biased?
was
No, but-
unrelated to that. And I did mention that the QT
This is
thing
pretty
was
easy to
So in order
understand.
for the situation to have been hypocritical, I would have needed to.
And the important part to add on to what I just said is that he never condoned, at least I have not heard or seen any clips, he did not condone or approve of the Fansly ad.
Shit all over
At
Aiden
all.
Ross and call it the worst
So,
thing in the world. Get the
you gotta be
pitchfork out
fair.
because he showed the Pornhub moment. And meanwhile, pat QT Cinderella on the back and defend it, applaud it, say that the Fansly promotion is totally fine. That would have been hypocritical, and I was arguing that since that wasn't the case, it wasn't. Like, the word exact wasn't really a core part of anything I was discussing. Now, I would like to, however, throw her a life raft on a point here, because I do think there is valid criticism of me here. I've said this for a long time. No one
Let's
is
see what he
above
says
criticism.
here.
Of course, that includes me as well. I do think that maybe I didn't come out hard enough against it, so maybe that led to a lot of confusion on how I felt about it. With Aiden Ross, I didn't make a whole video talking about the Pornhub thing he did. It was a very small piece of a bigger video.
He didn't he?
So
I thought he
never
did.
made a video about that, but QT Cinderella situation, I only ever mentioned.
I swore he made a
once,
whole video
I
about
think
that.
only like one time. So even though I didn't make a whole video on the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing, it was pretty clear how I felt about it, whereas QT Cinderella, if you weren't watching the stream, it's possible that you didn't understand where I stood. So I do think that is a valid criticism where I didn't make it clear enough where I was at with it, and I think that would have been a good point to make. However, it's not hypocritical, because at no point have I ever defended it, and I wouldn't defend it either. So I still disagree.
I think that's the
entirely with
important
any of
part.
it being even remotely hypocritical, but I do, however, agree that I should have made it clearer where I stood on the whole situation.
He keeps pushing on this narrative that we
That's-
missed the clip.
What he just said, I mean, that's... What more can you really ask? I mean, obviously, people need to verify and watch his actions to make sure they line up with what he's saying, but... I mean, as long as I've known Moist and seen his content, he doesn't seem like a terrible guy, you know? You never really know someone on the internet, but he doesn't seem like someone... Okay, even if he's engaged in nefarious activities when he's offline, I don't think any of those activities involve children, sexual, promotion, content, whatever. I don't see Moist as someone we have to worry about with that kind of stuff.
After my video, today before this video.
Like, there's got to be
So
someone
he
better to
uses
go
the word
after.
Prove, which in the viewer's minds means that he is proving.
He didn't go as hard on
something,
QT
but
Cinderella.
the
He's friends with him.
clip is after
I think
my
it's
video.
understandable.
Guys, do you understand?
I was saying, I'll go ahead and prove that it's there right now, real quick, before getting into why, of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of the
Imagine how
Well, didn't he just like answer the whole thing right there? Didn't he just... Let's replay that because she sped it up because she's so scared of getting copyright strike by Moistcritikal.
prove that it's there right now, real quick, before getting into why, of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of the
Always going to be not a great decision. It's an interesting way to say that's always going to be a bad decision. But
Imagine how many people fell for this. Look at Asmongold's reaction.
I don't understand.
okay, if we're looking at Asmongold's reactions to stuff, we've already lost. I love Asmon, I watch him all the time, but, well, not lately, but I love the guy, but come on now.
What?
The man's can't catch a football without breaking his finger.
I'm being left more confused than the first time I watched Inception when I was but a young whippersnapper. What is the point you're making here? All I was saying is a lot of the comments were calling me out for never even saying that it was bad, which is just wrong, and why I said you must have missed the clip, so I just proved that it is in that clip that is already on your fucking channel. That is what I was saying, is that I did say that QT Cinderella and OnlyFans or Fansly promotion is not a good decision. That is me calling it bad. So I was just saying that you might have missed it, and I was just proving that it is there in the content you posted. I did say it.
I think that makes sense.
That's the only
That's
thing
fair.
I was saying. This has nothing to do with a timeline. This was talking about the people that were saying I never even said it was bad, when I did.
From the false lens. He then lies about Fansly having a lot of obstacles.
So I viewed the advertisement very differently than a lot of people, because even when you scan the QR code, you still don't immediately get porn. There's already a lot of degrees of separation and a lot of obstacles.
If I remember, that's
What
incorrect.
happens? This is crazy that this website is being promoted in front of hundreds of thousands of children, because as soon as I go to the homepage, I am instantly greeted with an open vagina.
That
despite
doesn't
the
seem like
account
2
being
clicks.
underage.
That seems...
This is the most disgustingly manipulative part of her entire video here, because if she goes forward in
Alright,
this clip,
let's just-
I then go
Let's just do it. What's going on? What's it all about? Possible age-restricted content. Okay, so I'm obviously going to leave. I don't want to get banned. But it does seem that you have to agree that you are 18. So that solves that. I don't use Fansly, never have used OnlyFans or anything like that. I'm not necessarily against it. Get your money, get your bag, but I've just never been interested in that kind of thing. But it seems like you do have to at least say that you're 18.
Go on to say that I didn't have the knowledge that Fansly wasn't secure and that it didn't actually have any safeguards in place to prevent under 18-year-olds from accessing the content on its site. I was under the assumption that there was ID verification and a lot of obstacles in order to go through in order to set up your account. In that video that she is playing, I said that these things turned out to be false, and I was wrong.
Okay.
That it is actually easy for anyone to have an account there that is underage and access the content. But I didn't know that.
She is, and everyone is allowed to call out someone when they are incorrect. I will give her that. Moist said something that he had not verified, that he was incorrect about, and he used it as a point in his argument. I mean, she's allowed to say you were wrong, and I think he's admitting it, so.
Prior. Now, the whole point I was making with this statement, this section here, is that there is still a degree of separation between Aiden Ross just bringing up full-blown porn, we're talking fully penetrative fucking goat seed porn on stream versus the
apparently what they did was they, this is what people were saying in XQC's chat yesterday, so who knows if it's true. Apparently Fansly used to not have that "Are you 18" button that you had to click, so Moist could have even been correct, and then Fansly changed it when all the backlash happened. So hard to say.
Which had no nudity at all. The point I was making is they were different in that they weren't just the exact same thing done by two different people. Granted, they are both sexual content for sure. The Fansly advertisement was not full-blown porn right in the viewer's face right off rip. Thus, I was arguing it is different.
I guess.
Now, it's very clear to me Mute Kitty has never even bothered to
It's
do the
not
bare minimum
penetrative
of
porn,
scanning
but
that
it's
QR code
softcore.
during the Fansly advertisement. She's using a different video to try and make her point for her without doing even just a little bit of work. If you scan that QR code, I'll show you exactly what happens. This is the first thing that pops up. This is like the peanut butter and jelly of safeguards, the most inefficient shit ever. Are you 18? Yes or no?
To be fair, that would be really easy to
this
just
is already
click
something
enter.
that contradicts a lot of what people were saying, where there was no 18 plus at all. If you scan the QR code,
how high
immediately
are we going to hold Fansly?
That is not true. That's not a point Mute Kitty was making, but I do want to address that. It's not like you just scan that and immediately got porn. You did have this same safeguard that apparently Kick has, that a lot of people said is why the Aiden Ross situation is actually not as bad as this, because at least there was an 18 plus warning. Well, there is an 18 plus warning here too. So they're very similar in that regard. Now, once you enter, you're still not getting porn. You then go to this like Twitter thing. It's like some kind of Fansly Twitter thing where if you scroll down, you still don't get porn. You get their little red carpet interview moments. Then, if you go to the very first link there, then you go to the actual Fansly site, and once again, you still don't get nudity. Now, the pictures are more sexual, but still the nudity is blurred out. In order to actually access the porn, you have to claim the subscription and then make an account or sign in with Twitch. There is
Naked
a lot more
bakers,
you have to go
holy
to
shit.
get the porn out of the Fansly advertisement versus the Aiden Ross just pulling up the porn as a jump scare in front of the entire fucking audience out of nowhere. That's the point I was making.
It's
These
different,
are
but
very different situations, but did have commonality that makes them both bad. But I still believe the Aiden Ross one is worse. You don't immediately get the porn from the Fansly advertisement, and it's not exactly 2 clicks away, but it is still extremely easy to access and has no
like 3 or 4 clicks away
in place to ensure that your account is 18 plus. If you sign in with Twitch, it just kind of fucking takes them at their word, like, Scout's honor, you're 18 plus, I believe you, and then gives you the porn, which is a problem. That is an issue, and
Twitch
that was
does
not
that.
knowledge I had
YouTube
prior
does that.
to the whole situation here. I was under the impression that no kids could really access it due to like actual safeguards that would ensure only 18 plus were using it, like an ID check or something.
Okay. I might have heard that incorrectly, but I think Moistcritikal, how long has his channel been up? This man has been on the internet longer than I've been alive.
I was an extra in the Hunger Games mod.
I think it's really dumb to say he expected more out of the website. I think that might even be a little bit disingenuous. I'm not gonna call it a lie because I can't prove that. But yeah, someone being born into the age of the internet thinks that it would be hard to get into this website. No one thinks that.
But that is not the case, which is why I've admitted I was wrong about
That's
it.
obviously.
But they are still two very different situations where you don't immediately get porn out of the Fansly advertisement versus literally getting shown porn with the Aiden Ross moments. But that does not excuse the QT Fansly promotion. It is still bad. We are on the same side. I don't know why
I think
she
so
can't
too.
see this.
He lies about now saying a statement immediately, which indicates to the viewer that he did say one, when he never did. God, when he just said that anyone can access and you only need your Twitch account.
Is completely different than an advertisement to a platform which does have porn, but a lot of things that they'd have to do in order to access it.
He then ends the video with saying neither is great.
Classic Mew Kitty. She leaves out the part in that video where I admit I was wrong about not knowing how easy it was to access. Because it helps her point if
You
she leaves that
apologize
shit out.
for being
I said
incorrect.
it in the video.
You can't ask for anything more than that.
There are more things you have to go through in order to access porn from the Fansly advertisement as opposed to Aiden Ross just putting the porn right in your fucking face and shaking it around, but neither are good. I also was under the assumption that Fansly was only accessible to 18 plus after you verified your age. I don't use the platform. I thought you had to verify you were 18 plus in order to even get to the pornographic content. Thus, I thought it was even harder for children to have got porn out of that advertisement if they weren't of age. Not only would they have had to leave the platform to get it, they would then have to verify their age and make an account for it. I thought there was a lot of steps to it, making it very difficult for them. But according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I've read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night. Super
And they're a
weird
company,
that she
they're
just
allowed to make that
happened to have
decision.
left out that part where I openly admit that I was wrong about the ease of access to the porn, where I admit that I completely was
We don't
under
have
the
to
wrong
agree with it.
assumption as to how difficult it was to access all of it.
If you don't, you just
I'm sure
don't
she
use
didn't
it.
mean to exclude it on purpose. It probably wasn't malicious. She might have just overlooked it.
But he only called out one, which is the point. But he still doesn't think he's a hypocrite. This is the best example of a hypocrite in denial. Both are bad, or in other words, neither is great, if the only one he called out was a stranger and the one he didn't was his business partner. Guys, how is this hard to understand?
I'm getting more and more tempted just to comb through the goddamn streams for 14 fucking hours to find the part where I do say that the QT Fansly promotion was weird after
It's the second time he said that, but he has a chat whenever he's live on Twitch, and he's way bigger on YouTube. Whenever he's live on Twitch, he has like 10,000 plus viewers. I think 8,000, 9,000 minimum. And I can guarantee, just like every other streamer with that many viewers, he's got someone that is bored enough that would go through his VOD and find the clip. And it would probably take like 20 minutes. I could probably find the clip he's talking about, and like, actually I couldn't because I don't. It would be easier for one of his viewers who was there. Even someone like me who has never, who hasn't seen his VODs. I bet I could find it in like 30 minutes.
That. Even still, me laughing
Max.
at it, I do think is pretty obvious, but we're going to throw that to the side as well. Even still,
Not that it
throw both of those
takes
aside.
too much away from
I am
this
saying
point.
it's bad. I have now talked more about how bad QT's family promotion is than the Aiden Ross porn situation, Mew Kitty. Like, I don't know how much clearer to make it. There isn't some deeper plot thread here. I thought I made it clear. I was wrong. I didn't make it clear enough where I stood on it. That's fine. That's a legitimate criticism you can have of me. But it is not hypocritical because I have never defended it. I have never applauded it, and I've never tried to bury it or anything or hide my feelings on it.
Yeah, I think
thought it was
hypocritical
clear
might
and
be
I
the
was
wrong word.
But I am saying, and I've
Here.
said a million times now, it's not good. It's not. Like, you are making an issue out of nothing. We are on the same team, and you are dragging this on, and it is getting absolutely fucking shameless now.
He says I don't like his content. Big lie. I've never said this.
Something that I'm
genuinely upset with him when I've never expressed anything against him.
statements, and I also did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content.
He
Boy howdy, this is a bunch of hullabaloo nonsense points now. I'll go ahead and open.
Okay, I think it's getting more into the personal level now. And this is where I consider both of them in the wrong, right? Because when you start just throwing out insults, and this honestly goes to Moist just as much, but it seems like whenever you are losing an argument, it's easy to start making fun of someone, their looks, their content, their those kinds of things. It just shows you're out of things to argue about.
Maybe I'm wrong on that first point there.
He doesn't
where
have
you
to
said
like
she
his
doesn't
her
like my
content.
Maybe you're a huge fan of the content. I guess I could be wrong. I was making an educated guess based on the way that you talk about me on Twitter and in the comments section. But I guess I could be wrong. Maybe you absolutely love my shit. Maybe you're a huge fan of the Moist Wrestling League. I don't know. I guess you're right. I didn't know for sure. I was just reading between the lines of everything you've been saying about me and posting about me. The next point is about her being upset. I assumed she was passionate about the topic, but maybe that was the wrong thing to assume. Maybe she's only ever treated this like fake outrage. I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she actually cared about the subject, so I assumed she would be upset if she genuinely thought I was defending it. So I guess I was wrong about that. Maybe she doesn't care about any of this, and this is all just a big game to troll for her. So yeah, I guess I could have been wrong there too, for sure. I'll admit that could have been the wrong assumption to make. And then line number 11 had me really scratching my head here, and then calling it an ego thing. It was part of an apology to you, because I said on stream that I really didn't like the way you edited the content. I called it Zoomer editing, and I said that sounded mean-spirited when I didn't mean it to. I just meant that it's not my personal cup of tea. I've never been one to really like huge amount of sound effects and a lot of crazy effects and sounds and music going on. And I said I didn't really like it, and it came across mean-spirited, so I apologized. I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel like I was insulting you personally, like I fucking hated you, just because I didn't like the editing. I don't know what the lie is here. I was being honest. I still don't like the editing. That's just me being honest. That's not a lie. I don't really know what this part here is. I just can't even understand there's a real debate. I know Mew Kitty's really upset.
He starts lying about me saying Aiden Ross did the exact same thing when I've never said that.
I'd like her to put her money where her mouth is. If she really thinks that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation is exactly the same as the QT Cinderella one, then I want her in her next video. Again, I could be fully wrong here about her being upset. She had made 3 tweets about me within like 2 hours right before I went live. So to me it sounded like she was passionately upset about this whole situation. And like I said, if she was actually caring about the subject, I feel she'd have every right to if she really believed that I was defending it and okay with it. So
I think what this really boils down to is an argument for Twitch. What does Twitch really want and not want on their platform?